No, Granny loves those babies, and I will come and I will watch those babies, bring them, come on, I miss them. But also, they're not going to overuse me because they recognize that that is their role. They brought that seed into the world, then they're going to take responsibility for it, and they're going to take care of their children, just like I took care of my children. As a single mom, and you have single moms saying, oh, it's hard, it's hard. Well, I did it with 4 children, 4 young children.
I'm telling you.
I did it until the Lord blessed me and saw fit to send me my helpmeet, my husband, to step in.
Oh, I'm doing the running man. Go ahead.
Yeah, to step in and help me with that role, because a mother can't necessarily do it all. You will do it all if you have to with God's grace, but when, I know you get into some more questions also that have to do with that. But when, you wait on the Lord and you do it the right way, He's sending that person. We had gotten a prophetic word that God was sending him for that specific time. The boys were getting to be teenagers and all that. Them boys would have been out to 12, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning on a school night. Mind you, I was tough now. I wasn't no joke in the Holy Ghost. I wasn't in the Holy Ghost quite
no punk in the Holy Ghost.
I wasn't no punk. And those kids knew don't play with mama. But young men become young men at 11 and 12 and 13 in a lot of countries. So I think inside, spiritually or whatever, they take on that already at that young age, and so they'll try to pump you. They'll try to rise up against you. And so at that time, I think God knew for that specific time to send Apostle to my life, because I had 3 boys. I have 3 boys. And it would have been rough all the time, me having to go back and forth with them. Okay, go on out to 11. Then they come in at 1. So that's hard trying to do it alone as a single mom. And I know there are a lot of single moms, and it definitely can be done. But it's harder. It's more work. It's more, pumping that well and priming it and all that extra strength you have to give out. Then at the end of the day, you're exhausted. You're tired. You got to call off from work because you don't work at home all day.
Right. And one of the things that I did take notice of, I told you I married you because you cook good. But that's not true.
That's true.
I mean, that's part of it.
Like I told you when we first got married, there's some things like that you said, and then you would go behind and say, that's not true. I say, listen, the first thing you say out of your mouth was the first thought in your heart, and it's the truth.
But I watched you handle yourself as a single mother, and the way you took care of them kids, that was the other thing that got my heart. I'm like, man, they be clean. The house clean, everything clean about her. I mean, you were exemplified a single mom and how that mom is supposed to take care of the house, and that's really grabbed my heart as well. Of course, God had my heart towards you, but ultimately that set the seal on the whole deal, watching how you interacted with them and took care of them, and they were important in your life, so that really blessed me. Go ahead, Kathie.
I just had one thought we were talking about earlier a few minutes ago. One thing I thought about, and God has showed me that you can get in God's way when He's trying to bring correction and order in a child's life, and you stand in the way because you want to be God and try to fix it for them.
I hope someone. I know two mothers that belong to this church that got that. I ain't gonna say no names on them. I pray they get that one because they need that one. Because I can see an explosion getting ready to happen. And I can see that if we're not careful, you are so right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a testimony for those that are here. I remember one time my kids were going through some stuff, and like Prophet said, they were going through some stuff. And they kept going in and out of jail. I kept bailing them out. And then God told me to call somebody. And I called this friend that I knew when I was at my other church. And I was talking to him. And I was just sharing some things with him concerning my sons, and the whole situation. And he gave me a testimony, and to make a long testimony short, he said that he kept bailing his son out. His son used to always go get drunk and go to a bar. He had to bail him out because he got into assault and battery and stuff, so he was bailing him out. And he said every time he would do it, he was trying to figure out why his money was getting short. And it wasn't that he wasn't getting the money back off the courts and stuff like that, but if you get it charge, you're going to lose that a good portion of that money. And he said that he prayed, and God told him, he said, well, if you get out of the way, I can do what I need you to do. He moved out of the way. A year later, his son got saved. Just because he got out of the way. I stood by that. When I stopped doing that, they stopped all that madness.
Yes.
You can testify to that. After I stopped getting involved and letting them sit and don't get involved and they stopped, you know, putting me through that whole madness. So,
amen.
yeah. So, awesome. If you are aid and abater here, and you got a son or someone, a daughter as well.
Especially when you're in Christ and you're saved and you know to do right. And you're maneuvering things to maneuvering things around and conniving. I mean, not conniving, but doing things that not so upright because it's your child. But you know, we're called to still be in right standing and upright. And God says, His Word says that He will revenge all disobedience when our obedience is fulfilled, and that means being obedient to Him and to His Word and striving lawfully, not getting out of, you know, because if somebody's in trouble and they're in our family, so we're going to lie, cheat, steal to get them out. You cannot. We've been in different situations, and I'm telling you, we remain in our place. And we would talk to those children and tell them, look, we're not moving from our place to bail you out, to get you out, to help you out, to send you out to anything. We're not moving out of our place to do that.
To board you up, to give you a place to stay.
We're not doing that.
Girlfriend, boyfriend stuff, we don't play that.
Shacking in the house.
Shacking with us, nope.
And whatever else.
Don't play that, nope.
You don't do that because we're still the ones that are we're accountable to God first, not to our children first, believe it or not. We're accountable to God. And when we do it right before God, He'll make things right before us.
There you go.
Amen. Can get some amens on that?
Yeah, amen on that one. But it's the truth. You know, because you and I created an environment in our house. So we're not going to allow rebellious seed or rebellious son or daughter to disrupt the integrity of what we build. It don't happen.
I'm not saying we raise perfect kids, but I tell you what, they may not be perfect. They're going to stop that mess in front of us and around us, and then we're going to have that mess in our home. Take that mess out there somewhere. Don't bring it up in here. You come up in here, they be walking straight, cool, and collected. They come up in our house, you think they say coming up in there. That's what you better do up in here.
You got to
come up in here like that.
Disorder in your home breeds rebellion and disrespect. You try to figure out why they're disrespecting me because you don't have any integrity, holiness, order, discipline in your house. So they figure the spirit in them. It's not them, it's the spirit that's in them that's going to push the plate and push the envelope. So if you got to have a standard of righteousness and a standard of sobriety and a standard of holiness in your house, and if they don't understand that, get to walking, get to stepping. You know, my daughter, thank God she never tried that, but if my daughter would try to bring a man to the house, I would say, the man, you in a relationship with a man that can't provide, you need to get to stepping. Come on. That's old school stuff. I don't know if we got this stuff. Yeah, this new wave old stuff, and well, let's move to the next point. Well, I ain't supposed to be doing the pre. I'm going to ask y'all. I got the next point. There are single mothers in our church and all across the body of Christ. I know both of you were single at one time. Can you share out of your experience with the audience the do's and don'ts of living as a single mother? I know you said a lot, but the do's and don'ts of living as a single mother. For instance, I've been single, I've been saved, not me, the person. This person been saved for 5 years and is 29. 29 years old and been saved for 5 years and is in and out of relationships.
Run. But this is what I wrote on that question. Be an example. Let them. What did I have? Let me say. Be an example. Let them see through your lifestyle. Don't have your standard and what you know to be true compromised by a conduct of behavior that they might see you do. And even that, if you that stability, because if you meet somebody and if he in and out of relationships, he's gonna be in and out of relationship with you. You know what? You have to allow God. You have to allow God to do what He needs to do in you first before you even allow yourself to go into somebody, because you're gonna find yourself reaping a lot of misery and a lot of hurt and a lot of things because you go into something and God is trying to work in you to will and to do that He can do what He need to do to bring order in your life. And if you compromise that and going into something outside of His will, you're headed for a disaster.
That's good stuff. I like that. Because most times single mothers, they're compromised because they're in a hurry.
Yeah.
Because they think the shoe on the other foot, the grass is green on the other side. And so automatically they want to find a mate or find a man.
Yeah. Don't be in a hurry. You don't want to be in a hurry. Be anxious for nothing.
Amen.
You don't want to be, if you find yourself in a hurry for something in a relationship, it's headed for a lot of bad things. You need that soundness. You need God's wisdom, and you need His order and stability in your life. Just don't go out there looking for anything, because before we gave our life to God, we all were in a part of something, looking for something, and just doing things outside of God's will. But now in His will, let Him build your character. Let Him do what He needs to do in you, and that time will come, and you'll learn to appreciate it.
Amen.
Just like she said, there are a lot of things we did as young mothers and things, but when you begin to become of age, and especially as he mentioned about being saved as saved Christian moms, there are things that should not be named among you, and things, and what you do and your behavior. And it does not pay to continue on. I learned that when I got saved. And when you get saved, being saved is supposed to come with some Holy Ghost sense. You're supposed to get some Holy Ghost sense, some Holy Ghost know-how, some Holy Ghost awareness, some Holy Ghost everything. That's what the Comforter is for. He brings you wisdom, He brings you counsel, He brings you stuff where you ain't got to do stupid stuff. And that's why when some of y'all probably missed the question when you were at my birthday celebration. One of my favorite quotes, I made this up back when I was working, and I wasn't yet saved. I was on my way, but I wasn't yet saved, and I was working with different young ladies, and I would see them, different things happening, their boyfriends pulling up in their cars and coming to get them late, because I would work over doubles, so I see what time you leave on the 3 o'clock shift. You may not leave at 6 and 7 because your boyfriend got your car. Then he come in with 4 other dudes in the car, and you get in the back seat of your own car. I said, sister, never get in the back seat of your own car. First of all, you went wrong when you let him drive your car and you at work. Second, he coming late to get you from work. I didn't just offer my counsel. A lot of these girls came to me, and I wasn't even saved. They came to me crying, I can do bad by myself. I said, nope. Wrong answer. You can do better by yourself. You working 2 jobs. You got a house. You paying rent. You paying the car note. You taking care of your daughter. You ain't got to do bad by yourself. You can do better by yourself. So let's get rid of that. I can do bad all by myself. Whoever